Oxygen levels.
Oxygen levels are at 100%.
Set a course to Dark Waters 9. I found a metal pyramid that releases electricity. It's definitely conducting whatever it is. This thing kind of looks like something you'll see on Crash Bandicoot, but this scorpion, looks well done. Could this go on top of a pyramid and conduct 100%? What exactly is its purpose? Is it a heater? I have no clue. Remains a mystery. Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
Approaching the Barabar Hills, one sees only modest cave entrances carved into solid granite, unassuming and easily overlooked. Yet, stepping inside, visitors encounter a spectacle so profound that it immediately challenges established archaeological narratives. Walls polished to an astonishing degree reflect like mirrors, their flawless surfaces achieving a smoothness that surpasses even today's industrial capabilities. Granite, known for its incredible hardness, presents tremendous challenges even for modern artisans equipped with power tools and precision machinery. The Barabar polish, achieved on a grand scale across vertical and curved surfaces, defies easy explanation. When researchers analyzed the surfaces within the Sudama cave, they recorded an astonishing roughness height, RZ, of just 0.466. To put this remarkable feat into context, modern industrially polished granite typically achieves an RZ value of around 9.492. This means the granite surfaces in the Barabar caves are roughly 20 times smoother than even the finest granite polishing.
It's so smooth you can see the reflection. You can see the reflection off stone. And I don't even think it's wet.
Are roughly 20 times smoother than even the finest granite polishing, attainable with today's advanced machinery.
And another thing to think about, imagine the acoustics inside there. I'm sure it's going to echo or reverberate inside this chamber. We have a UFO cloaked as a plane. Check this out.
This is not a regular plane you're looking at. Look at this. It's a UFO. These ETs have technology to disguise themselves as planes. So next time when you at home and you look up in the sky and see a plane, it could be a UFO. This is not a regular
cloaking technology. We have electric towers in Buffalo Exposition 1901. The Buffalo Exposition, interesting. I never heard of that. I heard of the Chicago, the St. Louis, the San Francisco, but the Buffalo?
This is the electric tower for the Buffalo Exposition in 1901. An old world lost in time. This beautiful architecture was apparently built temporarily with plasterboard, only to be taken down again and destroyed. They expect us to believe that they created this detail with horse and buggy and hammer and chisel. This architecture was from before the reset of 1776. And the world
Look at the tower. It just gets crazier and crazier. First of all, it has a waterfall under this building, but on top of it, look at the structure.
fears were a cover-up to destroy old world architecture so the new world wouldn't ask questions down the
Look at the statue on top. It's hard to make this up.
line. But to be honest, they didn't really do that well, because you can still find old world footage like this. Or you can just look out your window and look at old world buildings that are still standing today. Look how amazing and detailed this architecture is. They wouldn't be able to build something like this today. And all this was meant to be temporary. Everybody needs to wake up and realize that we got reset. And we forgot our true history. Wake up, guys. Stay blessed.
Or this could have been possibly made in 1,000-year reign. Hard to imagine how they could craft something like this back in the day, honestly. Alleged UFO captured over Colombia. This is a real UFO sighting. Oh yeah? Let's take a look and find out.
Non-believer in UFOs, this video that I'm about to show you might just change your mind. Now, this group of guys was in Medellin, Colombia, and what they filmed is probably
Medellin, Colombia. We found a UFO. And I'm gonna zoom into it.
Bro, my food is gonna burn.
Where is it at?
Bro, they gonna say this shit like.
It's right here. It's right here. Okay.
It's different. It's about to go through the clouds.
No, that's hot air. No, that shit.
No, it's not no hot air balloon.
A hot air. Look at this. What I'm looking at it.
is that?
That's definitely not a hot air balloon. We might have one on our hands.
It's like a diamond shape.
Yo, that's not a balloon. That's too big to be.
Bro, that's like a diamond shape.
Look at that shit. That's a perfect shape. Bro, you gotta keep it.
Bro, what is that? It's like rotating.
It's rotating?
Yes, look.
No air traffic control lights on it. This might be a UFO.
It's not like flipping like a bag.
Nah, that's too.
I'm genuinely shocked right now. Like, bro, look at my. Because
You can see the thruster under it. The dilithium energized chamber up under it.
I thought it was like, you know, we just like seen a bag or something. Like, there's no.
No, that's fire coming out of.
Yes, it's going up.
UFO, bro.
You see the flame?
Yeah, it's flames. Yo! Wait, let me see. Wait.
Hold it. Big to be a bag. You know how big, you know how far away that is? You know how little a bag is? There's no way.
Bro, why is the stuff around it looking so weird?
And the wind will be carrying
Why is there,
it
like-
way different.
It would like it'd be moving different.
It's, wait, did it stop? No. If it stopped.
Do you see like the orb of light around the figure itself? Like there's something around, like that's weird.
Yeah, that's a perfect
It's not
shape.
changing shape. Though.
Yeah, if that was a bag, it would be. No, that's not a bag.
If you're a non-believer in UFOs, this
That was a good one indeed. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. What was that? Was that a prototype DARPA was working on? Or was that something beyond the wall? You tell me. All right, huge shout out to Jenna. She has captured some UFOs.
These are undeniable inverted images of these ships that I documented. These are
I'm trying to figure out, where is that coming from? Is this from the sun? Where are these ships coming from? And how big exactly are they? Drop your thoughts in the comments below if you know more about this.
You know that this is a big, big mess in the sky, and it's not airplanes. And look at this, like, look what's in it. Look at it. It's not natural. It is not. You can see some more images.
Unbelievable. It looks like a war zone happened up there, like an airplane firefight.
This is the Rainbow Bridge, found in Utah. Some say
Like trails
it's the symbol of Baal.
through this area.
Let's keep going.
Very cool. Right at the end, you climb this summit, and at the top, there is some rocks that these petroglyphs are on. What I will say is I've never seen petroglyphs like this. I don't believe these are Native American petroglyphs.
We know the truth now here. This is the Hebrew symbol for bet. Let's keep going. This is the Hebrew symbol for hay. Let's keep going. This is the symbol for mem. This is the symbol for shit. This is the Mississippian Earth Cross, the Mound Builder Earth Cross. Let's keep going. And this is the Hebrew symbol for Ayin. We know the truth now.
That's deep. So something was definitely going on in Utah that they're not telling us about. A glimpse at our magical past. Yeah. Very interesting. When one world ends, another one begins. One reset ended, another one begins. Trying to pick up the pieces of the puzzle and just survive.
You got Christ right there. That's him inside the Vesica Pisces. The ratio for this is 265 divided by 153. They caught 153 fish when Jesus told them to cast their net. Because it's geometry. The same geometry was used to build this structure. This used to be called St. James. That's why that's like an S right there with a J. We got the crest on it with the Templar cross at the top.
You can see the etheric conducting antennas at the top.
This is right across the street.
That is actually insane as well. Looks like some fire station possibly. I guarantee you that there's some type of underground network that connects both of those buildings.
Delaware and Marshall Street, the firehouse. See, they still got that copper roof in the back on it. Yeah, it says Delaware Ave. They got all kinds of faces hanging off this structure. You got the beavers up here. This was all a trade route for fur. So that's why you got the beavers up there. This giant church right here. St. James. There's one of them pine trees. You know this pine tree where it came from, the medicinal properties. The leaf's still on it. Them pine needles do not fall off. They're going to be right outside your churches because these plants would have been used for healing, just like in Scripture, Revelation 22:2. The leaves of the trees are for the healings of the nations. That's why you'll have certain trees like this planted outside of these buildings.
Interesting.
Mary right here. This is supposed to be a Roman Catholic church. That's the Templar cross up at the top. The Knights Templar. This is how all the roofs looked. Green with original copper. They'll be shining up here like a penny. This is all oxidized right now. It's oxidized.
Like the Statue of Liberty.
Because they took the wireless free energy off the building and it allows them in and strip all this metal. And that's why it rusts and oxidizes. Just look, you can see how when the building gets shut down, the blocks start to rust themselves. You see that block turns brown, that block turned brown, this one turned brown. That's because the metals in this block are oxidizing. That's iron in these blocks, turning that color rust. If anybody knows the color of iron when it rusts, it's that color. The same way your iron rails would rust. This thing would have been hooked up to the ether. That's why you got them peaks right there. Peaks, that's a special concrete up there. Conducts electricity. The higher you go into the air, there's more voltage up there. 65 degrees south. When the sun comes up from the east, The lights go through that side, will illuminate the whole inside of the structure with the stained glass. That's why some of these buildings are faced certain directions. All right, the sunlight would come right up from the east, right? Shining through the windows. That's why you got these stained glass up in here. Shining right through all this. That's why you got these protective glasses over it so they don't break anymore, because all this glass was fragile. And you'd have the different color spectrum inside the church, all the different wavelengths. Them subparticle frequencies would interact with the organ pianos. That's why the back window is this sound octave, because sound and light, when paired together, creates a harmonic resonance if it's in sacred geometric proportions.
Can you just imagine hearing the organ reacting to the glass window lights on some Davy Jones type stuff? Man, what an experience. Fascinating. Not only did they look good, they operated just as good as these old world buildings looked. Extraordinary.
Guys, they finally did 3D scanning over the rock quarries on Easter Island. And there is hundreds of unfinished Moai statues. And they were all started at once. It's like it was a factory. You got to look into this. And there's a reason why they don't want you to explore any of this. I read there's up to a $18,000 fine if you walk off trail and explore all these. So they're obviously do not want you to learn about this.
Interesting. Look, if this is how they made it, it looks like they were just carved right upon the mountain, and then they erected it somehow and got it to move, a couple miles near shore. That's interesting. How did they move it and build it remains a mystery.
This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And why can't we just explore and see them, as long as you don't touch them? This is wild. Share this.
This is wild. Easter Island, do not go off course. I wonder if you can still do a drone. Are these melted cities evidence of mud flood or some type of ancient war? You gotta admit, it does look like something melted there. How strange of a formation, and the fact that they got doors engraved inside these canyons. That was fascinating. I'm going with melted, man. And it makes you think, what type of plasma energy weapon is capable of melting cities like this? Or it could have just been fire and brimstone rained upon it.
Alright y'all, take a look at this gentleman's video. He calls himself Dr. Dark Matter. He claims that he worked for NASA at one time because he provided patents for space travel and things of that nature. Well, they allegedly gave him this video of a satellite back in the 60s that went into, or basically filmed into, inner Earth, the hole at the North Pole. As it zooms in, take a look and notice how the structures within actually look like they could be carved or made by a being of some sort, maybe man, who knows. But also I want you to look at something very odd or very interesting. What does that look like? It looks like an eyeball. And it brings me back to that German map of Earth and how it resembles an eyeball. And then think about the firmament and the lens of the eye. and how it heals. Well, think about the lens of your eye. When you get something in your eye, it heals. And then think about something else. Think about ocean water and salt and tears. It's very fascinating to think about. I know it's a really long reach. I know it's a reach. But it makes you think maybe there is something to God is always watching. And what if we were on just a massive, giant eyeball? It's very weird to think about. And obviously, like I said, it's a reach. But sometimes I catch myself pondering over it and thinking, wow, that's really weird. What if it's possible? Who knows? I don't know. Either way, this is a fascinating video. And if it's real, wow. Very interesting for sure. Also, take a close look at some of the shapes and the way the Earth looks in this old satellite video. It resembles beings. At least that's what it looks like to me. It makes you think that maybe the landscape was once alive at one time. Food for thought.
Welcome to part 2 of Dr. Dark Matter presents
Eyeball.
Video of the inner Earth. I'm your host, of course, Dr. Dark Matter.
Structures.
Now, check this out. Righteous, and I do mean righteous scientists, have utilized the most sophisticated satellites on this planet to pan into
Black rock.
the North Pole for the first time and give you a glimpse of the inner Earth. And no, this ain't AI. This is the real deal, right? So if you wanted to know why they don't want you to fly over the poles anymore and haven't for decades, this is why. You can see rivers, you can see lakes, you can see vegetation, giant trees, and entire mountain ranges in the inner Earth. And notice as the satellite is entering the Earth, you see a spin
Pyramid.
field effect. The torsion field that I was telling you about right there in part 1. If you haven't seen part 1, the video before this one, go and check it out. All right? 1.
All right, y'all, take a look at this gentleman's video.
I don't know how I feel about satellites, but this is interesting footage right here, to say the least, when they say this is allegedly black rock right here. Because on other footage we've seen a black rock, it literally sucks in everything like a cyclone around the ionosphere, like some type of vortex going downwards. So seeing something like this just adds to the validity of the theory of what the North Pole might be, considering it might have black rock inside. For entertainment purposes only, do your own research on everything. But seeing this cyclone looking eye, where supposedly the North Pole or black rock might be, is extremely interesting. And they're saying that they spotted pyramids, new land, and the story goes that you have to have some type of USO to go inside it to get to Agartha. That's how the legend goes.
So you're saying none of us are actually from Earth?
Not the Earth you think you know. The 7 continents we live on aren't our birthplace. They're a containment zone, a prison sealed off by the ice wall.
A prison for who?
For us. We're descendants of people who once lived beyond the wall, civilizations so advanced and defiant they couldn't be controlled. So long ago, someone made a decision: isolate them, populate these continents with carefully selected descendants, erase their memories, erase their origins.
You're saying we are not natives here?
Exactly. We were placed here. Richard Constantine orchestrated what's called the Great Placement. He found these untouched lands inside the ice wall and realized they could serve as the perfect cage. But how do you populate entire continents? Embryos. He harvested them from the ancestral lands, raised the first generation just enough to survive.
You mean like the Cabbage Patch?
then released them, let them believe they were inventing fire, tools, agriculture, when it was all designed.
So you're saying none of
That's an absolutely crazy theory. In Navajo, this is known as TC bit, or a rock with wings. I'm not 100% convinced that's a giant rock. If you ask me, that's a petrified tree stump that snapped off. But it is massive. We're getting a airplane aerial view. That is massive. Look how massive that is. There are hundreds of space arcs in our oceans exposed.
There's hundreds of thousands of people and ETs working in our oceans. These arcs have been visited by past civilizations, and each civilization leave a portion of their technology in these arcs. So throughout time, civilizations that have reached a certain point, they have visited the ark and left their library, left their whole civilization imprinted in the ark. And that's what we're doing now. After we leave our information or imprint in the ark, something happens. That's why now the Nordic ETs are involved, because they know something happens once the ark receives the information it needs. We have to see the ark as a being, as a consciousness. This is going to come out, and this information is going to shock a lot of people.
You know, they do say that the ocean is only like 8% of the entire ocean has been explored. Who knows what's really down there?
So they'll tell us that this is a natural rock formation, and I have a very hard time believing that because it looks like an old structure. It looks like a domed structure with something on the top, something that's very, congruent with a lot of ancient structures. Also, this doorway that's chilling there doesn't look very natural to me. This looks like an old structure that was petrified and turned into stone after some sort of cataclysmic event. And this you can see everywhere in the world, just like this right here, or these structures that are found in Turkey. Again, some sort of cataclysmic event. These were melted and turned to stone. Obviously, this was not the design of these buildings in the past. Here's another good example of this. Are you guys starting to pick up what I'm laying down here? This would be an example of what it looks like before, and then this is after. Yeah, exactly like this, guys. The domes on the top, old structures. Look at this. What if this entire mountain was an old building? You can see the structures that are built into it, but what if the whole mountain, the faces, what if the whole mountain was a city, was a big structure, and it was, hit with some sort of energy weapon that turned it into stone, right? This is what you have to look out for, guys. Our history is not what you think. There's been a great reset, and I believe they used energy weapons to turn cities into stone and to wipe out our true history. The eyes are useless when the mind is blind. Remember that. Open them up.
100%.
If you're going to start anywhere with temple mysteries, you have to start with India. India has the craziest architecture you will ever see. Half the stuff in the temples spin if they don't float. The pillars in these temples look exactly like the sound wave in 3D. That one's iron. It hasn't rusted in 2,300 years. They carved them into mountains and then out of mountains. You can't make a mistake. You have one shot at it. When they're done carving, they put the finest details head to toe in the entire temple. It's everywhere. You cannot get all the details, even if you try. Look at this. That's a mandala made out of a snake tail. It's all one tail. That elephant is not an elephant. It's made out of people. That stone is made out of one solid rock. It moves. It's a chain now. They put a rock ball of one stone inside a carving of a different type of stone. It's one piece. How'd they get the rock ball in there? They built pyramids like Egypt and Mexico, and then they inverted it into the ground. Then when they got bored of that, they inverted one of their own temples and built that into the ground. Some of the features inside the temple look like modern technology today.
If you guys thought I didn't have another excellent specimen for you today, think again.
Milan Cathedral, the Notre Dame Cathedral, Milan Cathedral, the Notre Dame Cathedral, the Windsor Castle, St. Stephen's Cathedral in Vienna, Austria, the Cologne Cathedral, the Tower of London, and Edinburgh Castle. They all have one massive thing in common. What is it? All of these places having this one thing that shows that the mainstream history is not giving us the full picture, and it's not even close. Massive palaces all over the world, constructed with perfection, and not one of these structures was built with a toilet. We are told that humans could ride on their donkeys without a light bulb and without a road and construct palaces in every single country. Yet they had to go to the bathroom in their yard and wipe with a leaf. No, we're living in the ruins of the previous civilization. A civilization that either didn't use toilets at all, or this group of people were so advanced that they used a form of plumbing and sanitation that is completely misunderstood to us today.
All right, we're seeing amazing monuments from the past and current. Is it just me, or does the past look way better? Wow. Unbelievable. That's probably my favorite one in Iran. They completely excavated it in Afghanistan. Turkey was thumping. Athens, Greece. I bet it's beautiful. Wow. Extraordinary.
They hid this from you for a very simple reason. If you found out how your energy works, no one else could control you. What I'm about to show you was banned, because it's not symbolic. It's practical, it's direct, and it's dangerous for those who profit from your confusion. There's a point in your body that, when activated the right way, makes your energy change state. You feel it instantly, in your body, on your skin, and the world starts responding differently. But almost no one notices, because everyone's looking in the wrong place. Today, you're going to understand exactly how to control your vibration. No talisman, no ritual, no guru. And the craziest part? You're already using this energy right now, even without knowing it. The problem is, using it by accident isn't the same as using it with intention. And that's when everything changes. The ignorant man blames others for his condition. The semi-wise blames himself, but the wise one realizes that everything is energy in motion. You're broadcasting right now, at this very moment. Even if you don't want to, even if you don't know it, there's a frequency coming out of you, moving through space, touching everything around you, shaping the invisible. And the scariest part, no one ever told you. They always made you believe that reality is just out there, fixed, solid, an unchangeable structure that you have to accept, adapt to, and resign yourself to. But the truth is the opposite. Reality isn't static. It responds. It adjusts. It shapes itself according to what you carry inside. Your thoughts aren't just thoughts. They're not stuck in your head like powerless words. They're impulses that spread out, vibrations that interact with the field around you. And the more emotion they carry, the more power they have. Anger, fear, excitement, desire. all of that changes your energetic signature. Have you ever noticed how a room changes when someone walks in full of tension? Or how a conversation can suddenly feel lighter for no obvious reason when someone shows up with a real smile? That's the field at work. That's energy being transmitted and received. That's you affecting the world without saying a single word. Now think about this. If that happens even when you don't mean to, what would happen if you did it on purpose? The biggest mistake was teaching you that action only exists in the physical, that you only create when you do something with your hands, your body, your voice. That's a lie. Creation starts before that. It starts in the invisible. It starts with what you feel, what you believe, what you imagine over and over again. All of that has direction. All of that has weight. All of that creates a response. And maybe now it makes sense why so many things in your life seem to repeat. It's like you're trying to change the storyline, but the same characters keep showing up. The same challenges, the same emotions, the same patterns. That happens because the field is just sending back what you're putting out. Not as punishment, not as karma, but as vibrational correspondence. You don't start controlling energy when you learn a technique. You start when you realize you never stopped emitting it. The difference is awareness. When you don't notice, you become a victim of your own impulses. Life turns into a chaotic reflection of what's unresolved inside you. But when you see what's going on, everything changes. Because now you have the chance to choose what you're going to put into the field. And here's the most overlooked point of all. The field doesn't respond to what you pretend to feel. It responds to what vibrates with authenticity. There's no use repeating positive phrases if inside you're still carrying guilt, anger, or frustration. There's no use forcing a pretty mental image if your body is locked up in fear. Energy doesn't lie. It records exactly what you're living inside, even the things you hide from yourself. And that's what makes all of this so powerful, because it doesn't matter where you are, who you're with, how much you have or don't have. The field doesn't react to your social status. It responds to your vibrational state. And that state changes constantly as your thoughts, emotions, and intentions shift. The problem is that no one taught you to notice that. No one showed you that you're already sending out signals all the time. No one explained that every automatic reaction, every suppressed emotion, every belief you never questioned is feeding that field. And the field, like a sensitive mirror, gives you more of the same.
We are definitely more than physical beings. That's all we have for today's video. If you made it this far, the code word is question everything. When you put question everything in the comments, lets me know you're a real one. You watched the videos all the way through, and I just want to say thank you for your support. I love you guys. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you later.
You can try this out. Try to hand somebody something of value. I don't care if it's money. Stand on the street, big city, New York City. Try to hand somebody something, right? $100 bill. You're going to get people that's going to pass you by because you're trying to give them something of value. I don't know what you're up to, but people don't normally hand people money that they don't know. It could be a winning lottery ticket, $20 million. Here you go, sir. Here you go, ma'am. They may not even respond to you. You're trying to give them something they're trying to get away from you. And it happens a lot of times on social media. People will tag somebody in something that's relative to whatever they do. Typically, you won't get a response. It's more psychological than you think. If you are someone that can offer something of value, what are you sending it to me for? Why are you not withholding it from me? Why are you not allowing me to chase you? Feels like you giving it up too easy. So you believe that if the person reached out to you, that it minimizes their worth in some way. Why? Why not think that this is ordained? Why not think that God put it on this person's heart, put it in this person's spirit to reach out to me to better my situation? And people miss out on things that could be beneficial to them based on this psychology that's been impressed upon them probably since grade school. We don't want what seems too easy. It's got to be difficult. Difficult things are worth getting. It's not always the case. Sometimes it's handed right to you and you neglect it. Sometimes you are bypassing the biggest blessing that can happen in your life. Love. You can try this out. Try to hand.
Do not throw your pearls out before swine, or they will trample you.
The last 8 months, this artifact right here has been making its rounds on the internet and social media platforms. It's what appears to be a stone book. Let's take a closer look at this and find out if in fact that really is a petrified book. The few people who represent modern geology have looked at this photo and they say it's just a natural formation. It's not a book. It's not in 300 million year old sandstone. Case closed. Enter in the creationist perspective that says that, according to flood geology, that everything formed very quickly. Rocks formed quickly, fossils formed quickly, petrification was done quickly. Any examples? How about this right here? This right here is a permineralized stone fedora that was in mineralized water, dripping on it for 2 years, and it became a stone hat. So it's not too far from center to consider. For the last 8 months, this artifact right here has been made.
So basically anything can get petrified if it sits in the right spot for long enough. Fascinating.
Listen, family, here's another reason why you shouldn't even be trying to wake people up. When they say that a person wakes up on their own time, when they're ready, there's a deeper meaning behind this. You gotta understand, the themes of your life was already planned out. Some people, they're not meant to wake up. That is not what their higher self wants for them. Think about it like this. Really put into perspective. Let's say you and a bunch of beings say, all right, we're going to incarnate into this world as this species. And some of y'all say, I want to go through a path of enlightenment. Then some say, I want to be a professional tennis player. One being says, I want to be a chef and have a family. Like my whole point is, not every being wants to wake up. And some people may think, well, why wouldn't they? Some souls just want to live out their lives the way it was meant to be lived out. They will wake up eventually. It might not be this lifetime. If you have woken up in this lifetime, you are an old soul. Listen, and most people really don't understand what that means. There's a misconception of the meaning old soul. I promise you, if you are a conscious being, you are an old soul. There are things that you need to go through in the physical experience, and that usually takes lifetimes before your soul is even thinking of the idea of you walking on this path. At least in this time and age, in this realm that we're currently in. Because here's the thing about time. You know what? I'm going to save that for another video. We ain't even going to talk about the concept of time. But it is very simple. Now I'm going to use a quote that I had said once before. If I set my alarm clock at 9 a.m. and you set your alarm clock at 7 a.m. and before I went to bed, I said like, yo, I don't want to wake up before 9 a.m. by any means necessary. Like 9 a.m. is the time I want to wake up. That's it. That's what I want. Then when your alarm goes off at 7 a.m., but this is the thing, you didn't know that my alarm was set for 9 a.m. You didn't know like that's the time I wanted to wake up and that's it. So when you wake up at 7 a.m. and you're amazed at what your eyes are seeing, you're just so happy to be awake. And then you see someone who's sleeping, you're like, oh my God, I got to wake them up too. They got to experience this as well. But it's 7 a.m. Your alarm was set for 7 a.m. I wanted to wake up at 9. If you come waking me up at 7 before my alarm, what is the natural reaction? It's not going to be a positive one. I'm probably not going to be open to you. I'm probably going to go back to sleep.
Layer by layer, precept upon precept.
This video should terrify you. This scientist right here put these fleas in a jar, and then he seals it shut, trapping them in there. For 3 whole days they struggled, just smashing into the lid with every attempt. But you see this part? This is the messed up part. When the lid is removed, they actually never jump higher than the lid. And what's even more diabolical is that their offspring were born with those same limits. And that's how conditioning works, even for humans. So even if you have one false boundary, if it's repeated enough, it becomes your reality. And what's truly terrifying is that most people live like this, under a lid, that doesn't even really exist. Look, if you never test your ceilings, you will never actually find out how high you can go. And this is exactly how dreams die. Not from failure, but from limits that you never challenged. Every day that you accept somebody's ceiling as your truth, you're actually training yourself to live small. And if you're not careful, and if you're not aware, one day, you'll pass that same ceiling on to the next generation. This video should terrify you.
That is terrifying.
Okay, folks, I want you to watch a demonstration of nanotech. This is little micro robots, performing tasks. This one is it moving the fat and getting into the blood. As you can see, it's moving it along there, see? And helping. This one's gonna put the circuit and create the light. You see how clever it is? Yeah. Now, there's conspiracy theories out there that this is in the V and building chips in people's bodies. Now, what you'll see is it froze that up there, It's that intelligent that it knew it couldn't get up, so what it does, and you'll see it here, it chucks it up. It froze it up. Watch, look. Froze one over. So the intelligence is obviously coming from us via some Wi-Fi connection or something like that. But I just wanted you to see nanotech and how advanced it really is, folks. That's all. Here it is. Just to give you a little idea of, what's going on in the technology world, if you like, and where we're at. So, nicotine is the killer. It will kill all this. The Australian scientists have already shown that in videos now. So if you want to get rid of this, I wouldn't say start smoking. I'd just say get some and happy days. Remove the damage, if it's the case that you feel that, you might have some of this in you. Just saying, Just want you to watch what's going on with the way this nanotech works.
I am a daddy. I have 3 sons.
3 sons?
Yes, but I don't talk about it much. It's a bit embarrassing. My eldest boy ran off the sea to make his...
Very, very intelligent, folks. Let me know in the comments what you think.
One of the reasons we started talking about boron really was because I had somebody reach out to me and send me a video. It was a whistleblower that had been working on nanotechnology for black op projects that no one even knew about. And this video, when I played it, he said, my team has been working on this nanotechnology, this transhumanism agenda. We've been working on this micro robots that are going to be introduced into the body. And he said, the thing that we're finding that will neutralize a lot of these things is borax. And then all of a sudden the video disappeared. I couldn't find it. I still to this day don't know how that happened. And that was it. And I just kind of, put that on the back burner until, and I was part of the course. And then we started really finding out what was in all these bioweapons and these synthetic bioweapons that were happening.
Nanotechnology. It's getting out of hand.
I started getting introduced into this scientific community of parents. It wasn't like guys in suits and stuff like that. It was like dads at luncheons and barbecues and stuff like that. You just start meeting. And they are part of what's called the Jason projects. And the Jason program is a scientific committee that is a advisory group. Basically, they're consultants. That's how they bridge themselves. There are some intellectuals, you would call them, or guys that come out of universities, and they were recruited during the Cold War. And their goal was to deal with all these nuclear weapons secrets. And what are we going to do with contending in the Cold War? And so they would come to them, the United States Navy, the Army, whoever would come to them and ask them to fix a problem for them. And they would pool these mental resources together, and they would meet a few times a year and discuss all these issues, super top secret, right? Above top secret. They started this program in Southern California, and this is where my family had all these connections through the being organizations that were down there, and they started getting connected to this scientific group. Well, when you show a certain level of accolades, when you do personality testings, they start really early on in these families. They start trying to figure out exactly what cranks your gears. When you start popping up on certain algorithms, they're going to start to push you into different fields. And so my family chose for me the field of military intelligence and military espionage, counter espionage. And that's what, to me, I liked it. And I wanted to do that. And so I got introduced to these people that would become my handlers. And that was part of what's called the Junior Jason Project, which is something you can look up online today. That's a project that now tens of millions of children have been through. They may not understand what it's for, but they pair these super elite specialized teachers with children and give them a custom catered education that gives them access to a totally different realm of normal schooling to what children have versus others don't. From that, they have finders inside there to recruit children into the family or into one of these interagencies. Like, this is what NASA recruits from a 9-year-old child. That's a genius. You know, they're like, we want them to be ours. So then they give them a tutor, a mentor, a handler who's going to cultivate them to be in these industries throughout their life. And so this is how a lot of these companies, you'll see all of them, Exxon Mobil, Apple, Facebook, they all send their trained agents to find headhunters into this child organization to try to find them. And so this is public knowledge. This isn't like woo-woo, scary conspiracy level stuff. This is like the reality of how the world finds good managers level people, and then they want to find CEOs, and then they want to find board of directors. This is how they build them out. They start them in childhood.
I feel like it's a huge mystery how they do the astronaut selection process. It's not like you can go to like a temp agency and be like, hey, I want to be an astronaut. You know, they come find you. So it's a little bit suspicious. Imagine calling this place home over 100 years ago. It is an amazing structure. Oh, they represent the 4 seasons. Fascinating. Where is this structure? Very interesting and mysterious at the same time. It makes you wonder who built it. Look how giant those doors are. Giants could easily walk through there. Not meant for your normal 5-foot human being.
The grisly discovery that Egypt was originally America, then that would mean we would have to be held captivity by our own people. And ain't that in the Bible? Okay, so stay with me. So, okay, you know the Grand Canyon was not a part of America. You know what I mean? It didn't come a part of America till like 1912. You know what I mean? Okay, and they didn't make modern day Israel till 1948. Okay, but they said they was traveling from Egypt to Canaan. Okay, Canaan was the motherland where Jerusalem and everything, Palestine, all that was over there. You know what I mean? It was all in Canaan. You know what I mean? It said they was traveling from Canaan to Egypt. Okay, there's no way that you could travel from Egypt, America, to modern day Israel because of the sea. You can't walk on foot because of the sea. You know what I mean? And when it said Moses led the Israelites out of captivity from Egypt into the land of Canaan, and they had to go through a massive forest, think about the Kabar forest that's located inside the Grand Canyon. Okay, Canaan. Could the Grand Canyon be Canaan? You know what I mean? Is that why 90% of the Grand Canyon, is off limits to the people? That Kabar forest is 1.9 million acres long. You know what I mean? And they said they roamed around for about 40 years until they entered the land of Canaan. The Grand Canyon. I seriously feel like it's the Grand Canyon. Canaan was the Grand Canyon. Jerusalem and everything was over there. That's why we came. The grisly discovery that Egypt was originally America.
It is an interesting theory, and it does sound like Canaan. Grand Canyon. Fascinating.
What's that? Oh, a former Bush official came out saying that they built an underground city secretly for $21 trillion. Okay. Yeah, her name is Catherine Austin Fitts. Now, she says that it's not just your regular tunnel with a bunch of concrete and it's just kind of plain Jane. No, she said this is a luxury city built under the United States. Okay. She said that these cities even go out under the ocean. Okay. She said that this was built specifically for the rich in case there was an extinction event for humankind. Which leads us to believe that they know something that we don't. She stated that the transportation down there is way more advanced than the transportation we have up here. Oh boy. She said that it has everything we have up here, but it's way nicer, and they even have schools, hospitals, and jails. Oh boy.
Here's another local wonder for you from the local news team. Sacramento's underground. This one they say was done because of flooding. They raised the whole city a street level or two because it flooded too much. Let's take a look at the dry underground that needed to be raised because of flooding from the local news team.
Fire on K Street we first told you about, and exposing a fascinating find, homeless, not living on the street, but underneath it. CBS 13's Brady Halbleib joining us in studio with a look at what these spaces are and how they were created, Brady.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun time, guys. The one that I toured today is located in Old Sac, and I'm told there are hundreds of them scattered throughout the downtown area, and some of them are completely hidden from the public. And while some are causing alarm for the city, others reveal a history of the city that many people didn't know existed.
1860s.
The tour begins inside of the Sacramento History Museum, where tour goers are given a headset to listen in to our tour guide.
Now, it'll take a minute.
The tour then takes us outside, where we venture to a building where inside we're shown firsthand what these hollow sidewalks look like, something Melanie and Judah Wilson are eager to see.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really fun. I didn't know anything about it. It was really interesting to learn about.
We started by building these giant
Our tour guide is playing the role of Agnes Jacobs, a historical figure who lived in the 1800s. She explains why some people call these corridors tunnels. They're actually a portion of older buildings that were the original ground level.
They're considered hollow sidewalks because even though they feel like a tunnel, they do have a property line that ends them with a nice solid brick wall.
On the tour, we learned the confluence between the Sacramento and the American River would often flood, but it wasn't until the major flood in 1861 when they needed to find a solution.
They started realizing we're going to have to do some things to lift the city levels.
Instead of moving the city, they lifted each building up using hundreds of jack screws and then filling them in with brick walls, creating hollow corridors. Now many of them are forgotten about. But Jacobs tells us you may be able to find hidden artifacts within a few of them.
We love all of the stories that are coming out, and we're finding more and more as we learn.
And with more modernization of Sacramento, many of these are being destroyed or filled in. But Jacobs tells me there are many others hidden from Old Sac through Doco all the way to the Cap.
Starting to think underground cities really do exist.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dhaval. And I'm Greg. And we are Superb Minerals. Today, we're going to talk about this amazing, extraordinary specimen of Himalayan quartz with chloride phantom inclusions coming from the sacred Kulu Valley of India.
This magical piece of Himalayan garden quartz weighs an astonishing 107 kilograms with about 20 prominent crystals, the tallest being 14 inches. The specimen measures approximately 34 inches wide by 17 inches tall, showcasing multi-layered chlorite phantoms in each crystal. This entire specimen is 100% natural, displayed on a custom stand with built-in lights. This unique work of nature is currently on display at our Tucson showroom here at Superb Minerals.
If I had to name this specimen, I would call it Super Kryptonite.
Dude, I've never seen anything like this besides on the internet. Look at the leaves on this tree. It's not windy. It's doing it over here too. Bro. Hold up. There's nothing. Dude. I mean, there's a little wind. But, I mean, look at the rest of the tree. That's like a normal leaf blowing right Oh, those are kind of doing it too. Look at these. What is happening here? I mean, this may be lack of proper knowledge. Something. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, there's a little breeze, like I said, but there's nothing in this tree. It's not even a big branch, just a tiny little branch. Bro. Alright.
That is fascinating. You saw how he had a need to wave to it back. You know, why are these trees shaking like that? That is a mystery. In 1974, 5 UFOs landed in Canada, and this farmer tells us what he saw.
On the way down, I cut the field in half and went right down the center where that big slough is sitting there. And coming upon the slough, I come across these dome-shaped objects in the field, and I didn't know what the hell they were. It was the swather, so I got a little closer and I stopped because everything was moving. I thought, well, gee, goose blinds don't move, they sit still. So I thought to myself, well, I might as well get off to see what this contraption is of the swather, and I walked towards him and I stopped about roughly 15 feet away from the object because I could see right underneath through it to the bottom. The grass was moving, and I thought to myself, what the devil is that contraption anyway? Because they weren't on the ground, they were off the ground. They were about a foot off the ground, and they were sitting there going around in a circle. The machine was stationary, and it wasn't. It was going counterclockwise. The grass was going one way, and the machine was going the other way. So I walked a little closer. I wanted to really see what it was, but it was moving. And instinct told me to back up. So I backed up to stand about at least 15 feet away from him. It's going counterclockwise. It's not going clockwise. It's going counterclockwise. Grass was moving one way and the machine was going the other way. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird. I thought, well, I wonder who the hell it is. Some joker probably playing a trick on me. And I was going to walk a little closer. Instinct told me to keep my distance. So I kept my distance and I walked around and looked at it. What the devil is another one on the other side? There were 3 in a row. One on the south side, about maybe 100 feet away. Another one on the north side, 100 feet away. And there was 3 in the center. All 5 machines. There was 2 on the end there. The 2 little ones were guarding the 3 big ones in the center. And it was sitting in a half moon shape. They were sitting like this. All in a circle, half moon position. The others were sitting here. They were sitting here, and I was here. Coming down to turn around, I was about 15 feet away.
I know you've answered this question a million times, but it wasn't natural. It was a machine. These were machines.
It was a machine.
Yeah.
It was natural. It was metal. You could tell it was metal.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to go up to him and feel him, but instinct told me to keep my distance. On the way down, I cut the field in half and went.
I believe him. Why would he go through all this time to make that story up? What does he have to gain from telling this story? A little publicity? A farmer trying to probably be to himself anyway, you know? Crazy stuff. All right, we have metallic spheres seen around the world. This one is in Russia.
These impressive images were recorded in Moscow, Russia, and show with great clarity a metallic-looking sphere that appears to be levitating above the city. Observe carefully. A group of people was in a tall building, and from that vantage point it was possible to capture the sphere's movements at the same level. In the close-up, its form is seen with complete clarity, a close and sharp sighting of this type of technology, which may have a non-human origin. Belgrade, Serbia, August 18th, 2025. A group of American tourists observed a sphere moving at low altitude over the city in broad daylight. In the closer view recorded by one of the witnesses, it is clearly distinguished as a sphere. When a frame of the footage is frozen and enhanced with artificial intelligence filtering, the object can be appreciated in greater detail. Evidently, it is a sphere, whose origin may not be human. Long Beach, California, June 12, 2025. A person driving through the area managed to record a sphere moving just a few meters away. The driver filmed it without leaving the car until suddenly the sphere made a rapid movement, distancing itself from the location. In slow motion, its presence can be observed in greater detail, especially given how close it was to an inhabited area. It seemed to be watching what was happening there. Tokyo, Japan, July 16, 2025. A metallic-looking sphere was captured with a cell phone. It remained levitating in the same spot, very near a park, visible to the people who were present in the area. When the footage is accelerated, a slight upward and downward motion can be noticed, though without straying from its position. In the close-up, its form is seen clearly. Palmdale, California, June 11, 2025. Stephen Gresson noticed an intense glow in the sky and managed to record with his cell phone a metallic sphere moving slowly.
That's all we have for today's video. If you made it this far, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. The likes have been getting up, and I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you guys. The code word for today is beyond. Go ahead and drop beyond in the comments below. That lets me know you're a real one. You made it all the way through my videos and you really rock with your boy. And I just want to say I love you guys. Thank you for your support. This was the most mysterious TikToks and disturbing theories on the internet today. See you later.